Welcome back to the C Show, a wrestling show for the common fan. Whether you're new to sports entertainment, you're coming back after a while, or you've been here the whole damn time, I'm Charlie.
I'm Connor.
Jared is not here today. He has his fingers stuck in one of the little holes at the wall at Chipotle. We have alerted a rescue crew to go rescue him. That is in progress, and we will have an update for you shortly. Well, we have a packed show. As always, we're talking about wrestling weddings. It's wedding season's wrapping up. The joy and jubilation, celebration, all of that good stuff. We're going to be talking about Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man Randy Savage. We're going to be talking about some wrestling weddings in AEW even as well. Speaking of AEW, we've got Grand Slam Mexico. Connor is going to be talking about Fletcher versus Speedball. I'm going to be talking about the Continental Cup kicking off this weekend. And then outro, of course, upcoming AEW action and our plugs. But without further ado, it's The C Show.
Welcome back to the C Show. Those actually weren't wedding bells. We'll get back to that eventually, though. So your wedding, it's a special day. Collection of all the important people in your life, watching you make a commitment to the person that you love the most. It is also incredibly stressful leading up and through it, but then you get to have a big party after, which is awesome.
Let's clarify something. You are married.
I am married.
You are in a very happy, healthy relationship.
Hell yeah, brother.
Get to see that from the outside. It's very lovely. I am not married. I don't know if I am going to get married the next 2 years, so I'm a little biased about the pomp, the circumstance, the whole rigmarole. But I think this will be interesting.
Yeah,
because there's a certain sort of cynicism with all of these ceremonies.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. Like, again, it's looking at my own wedding. Like, I was very stressed. And again, on the grand scheme of things, my wife Lydia and I did a very low-key wedding, very small.
Very incredibly chill, very personal. Like, it was very well thought out. It was very you guys.
That's what everyone says. And again, that's the best compliment we could get. And, right, that was stressful and also wasn't live streamed into millions of homes.
No, certainly not.
Yeah, like, there was stress at my wedding, but I was never worried about someone coming in and beating me up during the ceremony, slamming me through my cake at the wedding reception, or someone showing up and saying, well, you can't marry that girl, I already have.
Nobody paid $10 to get into your wedding.
Also true. And those are just a few of the incidents that have taken place during wrestling weddings. So let's go back to what is the first televised wrestling wedding. So this is back in 1984 on Tuesday Night Titans.
TNT. What a great acronym.
Now, again, you always have these names much better than me. Paul Vachon?
Vachon. Yeah, they're French. They're French-Canadian, actually.
Yeah. So Paul Vachon was marrying Ophelia. So they literally...
From Shakespeare's Hamlet, of course.
Of course. They so they literally announced the wedding like as the main event and give them all entrances, which was super sick. Like, they bring out the best man, the maid of honor, right, the husband and the wife.
Mm-hmm. It's Howard Finkel, the longtime WWF announcer, and he's doing it in the voice, like the same voice that he would do to introduce Andre or Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Andre versus Hulk Hogan. Like, oh my god, unbelievable. So they bring out a flower girl and a ring bearer.
Can we talk about the Reverend first?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Reverend Meyer Lipschitz. I am so mad that Jarrett has his finger stuck in a hole at Chipotle, and we can't talk about the Reverend with a very Jewish name.
So they bring down a flower girl and a ring boy. I
believe that is the ring bearer.
Ring bearer. Thank you.
Yes.
One, they were both little people.
Very uncomfortable.
Which we see in a handful of these weddings.
Yeah.
Which is something.
It's infantilizing. That's the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as the flower girl was going by, Jesse Ventura just grabs the basket and all the flowers and just like, nope,
I need the flowers.
Yeah, and she's so mad. She walks away, which I get. But I'm just like, man, Jesse, you're always stealing the show. You're my hero.
One of the greatest.
As the wedding continues, you know, the classic, are there any objections to this wedding? To which they then have to discuss Ophelia's sexual history, to put it lightly. And
at fear of getting demonetized, it's her virginity. It's like straight up like, is she a virgin? It's
and it wasn't a question of like, oh, is she a virgin? Is she pure for you? It was like, oh, she's not a virgin. Cool, get married. It was bananas. It was absurd.
I was half
again
expecting,
for 1984.
I was half expecting Vince to like stand up and just go, "Well, I enacted prima nocta, so."
Jesus Christ. So bride and groom have their first kiss, right? It's like, oh, okay, like, you know, a couple flowers throwing a weird objection, you know, nothing too bad here.
Yeah.
But David Schultz hits the ring and slams Paul after they have their first kiss.
Schultz, who is famous for the Wikipedia article says battery of John Stossel on ABC's 2020 comes in, and then the groom is power slammed, the bride is dragged out of the ropes,
and again, as I previously said, after a wedding you're gonna have a reception. Again, those people get to come back, some food, some drink, some cake. Now, even after his incidents at the wedding, Schultz was still invited, allowed, however you want to put it, at the reception. And first he gets nose to nose with Ophelia as they're getting ready to cut the cake, being like, do you know how to take care of Paul? Do you know how to take care of this man? And it's like, if he asks for this, what are you going to do? It's like, oh, he'll do it. It's like, you're going to do it for him. Like this very of the times, like, you're taking care of this man. And
it did look like the reception hall at St. John the Baptist in Burnsville, Minnesota, where my parents got married. And my grandfather was in charge of my maternal grandfather was in charge of the music, and he hired a polka band. Early January in Minnesota, polka band crashes into a snowdrift, and the music for the evening was a boombox playing polka. My grandfather's polka tape collection. Shout out Frank.
So after some back and forth, right, the bride and groom cut the cake. They share a moment, but Ophelia's like, oh well, I don't eat cake. For some reason, Schultz is insulted by it, as if the cake was his father. And he's like, oh, really? And just slams...
You're too good for the cake.
Yeah, just slams her face into the cake, and a whole food fight just breaks out. Like, crazy. Like, literally just, like, the whipped cream pies, like,
Vince
stuff all
cannot
around.
Contain his excitement.
Oh, absolutely not.
He's like, it's total mayhem. It's so good.
So... A messy first wrestling wedding, to say the least.
For sure. In the credits here at the end, where they're just showing, Lord Alfred Hayes and Vince find a pie tin in the Lord's vest. And it was a cream pie, one of my favorites.
So I'm going to bounce around in this timeline a little bit again. This is not all of wrestling weddings. This is a handful of some of the... I started with the first one, even though I didn't know about it. And these are some I remember, most famous, right? Some I actually watched, things like that. Kind of talk about that some more as we get going here. So next we'll bounce to 1999. The Undertaker...
I got to go Fred Durst voice. 1999! That was terrible.
So The Undertaker has kidnapped Stephanie McMahon because of his feud with Vince. Him and his Ministry of Darkness have brought her out for an unholy wedding.
Vince wrote all of this, by the way.
100%.
100%.
So...
And it's not like a normal cross. It's like the Undertaker's logo cross.
So...
If you can explain this for the audience, it is a visual.
So, yeah, Stephanie comes out, and they have her tied to Undertaker's symbol. It's kind of like, it looks like a cross. There's like a partial circle on the bottom. Again, very legally distinct, very not against or at anybody. And again, this was very important and made very clear because 3 years earlier was the ECW incident. Of them doing their crucifixion.
The kendo stick cross, yeah.
So WWE made sure it was incredibly distinct. So again, she's literally tied to this symbol. They're just like leaning it on one of the ropes. Paul Bearer is there acting as the minister, and like, God bless him for keeping a straight face. Like, right, he's doing the, and do you plan to bring evil with your husband? As Stephanie is screaming, no! And he's keeping a straight, no-selling, straight face, just moving on with the ceremony. A few wrestlers come out to try and stop the wedding, right? First is Ken Shamrock, immediately stomped out. A very young Big Show comes out, also gets taken to task. But it's 1999 WWF. So Stone Cold comes to make the save. Glass hits, he goes to attack, falls down the ramp, and then just starts cleaning house.
I've got the double birds in the air.
Yeah, a bunch of chair shots to Undertaker, and the whole crew there, Bradshaw, the whole nine. And then Vince is like, the day is safe. I will now come out and hug my daughter. After she hugs Stone Cold as like a thank you. Stone Cold doesn't even hug her. He's just standing there like,
JR is screaming, "It's Stone Cold! It's Stone Cold! He did it just because it was right!"
Yeah, it was not because he does have disagreements with Vince McMahon, but he did it because it was right.
So, like, not only do they get to continue this feud, but, like, Vince now owes Stone Cold something. You saved my daughter in this time of need. Like, that's an awesome little wrinkle in the
dude. It sucks because they end up throwing kind of the whole big picture here away. Like I said, Undertaker, this whole thing was his ministry of darkness, and the idea that they were answering to this higher power, and you know who was it, and all these things. Like, oh, the higher power told him to do everything, and then they just like randomly reveal it to be Vince. With like really no, it's just like very sudden, like it was me the whole time, and like it doesn't make sense. Like, and
is that the famous video where like he reveals
the hood?
Oh my gosh!
Like, and I've heard rumors. I could do more research about like they had a plan and something else fell through, but like they literally just like basically threw away like they did this for a while, and it's just like, yep, Vince is the higher power. Moving on. It's like what? So take a look at that if you're interested. Do you have anything else on the Stephanie McMahon Undertaker unholy union?
Backstage, Shane McMahon, Triple H, Big Boss Man were waiting to attack, but it is again, it's Shamrock first. It's Stone Cold coming out, and the way that this ends a 2.5 hour or probably like a 2 hour long Raw program, killer, absolutely killer. You have the Big Show come out, he gets defeated, and then you have first you have Shamrock come out and he gets handled with easily. Then Big Show gets taken care of, and then Stone Cold comes out and takes care of the entire situation. And it's like incredible stuff. It's incredible character work on all sides. And again, Vince wrote this
100%, every word of it. All right,
and that's a great segue into the next one.
All right, so I gave you a weird one. Let's see if we can get a 2-for-1 special here.
Oh, this one was the implications. As our friend Dennis Reynolds would say, the implication.
I have some of that at the end. Don't you worry. So about 7 months after this failed unholy marriage, Stephanie is supposed to marry Test, a wrestler also in the company on another episode of Raw.
I was wondering who that was, and I was like, it's a Triple H lookalike.
Literally, it's so funny. Like that's always that's like always been a thing a lot of people have said. And it again, I've seen so much about this, and for a good chunk of the wedding, things are going perfectly well. And it's always when that bastard
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Not even that. It's always when that bastard officiant is like, any objections? How about you just shut your mouth? But yes, Hunter Hearst Helmsley come out. Right, his music hits before the wedding, and Triple H, and this was part of the first run of DX, was told that if anyone from DX shows up, does anything to the wedding, they will be fired on the spot.
It's any member of the only people who are allowed inside the ring are any immediate members of family.
Exactly. So Triple H, his music hits, he comes out in jeans, a leather jacket, but he does have a boutonniere pinned to his leather jacket, which I thought was very funny. Triple H just says how he has to show them something, and a video plays. It shows Triple H taking a drugged Stephanie to a drive-through chapel in Las Vegas.
In a, 90s Mustang convertible. And he's pointing out all of the spots. He's pointing out, we can go to the strip club, we can go to the video store.
The adult movie store, they have a honeymoon special. And then they start going under, the awning of this drive-through church, whatever you want. And he's like...
chapel.
And he's, pretending to be crying at, all... He's like, the chubby little angels with their wieners out. And so, literally, he drives up to the window. She asks, one question. He's like, look, I have $40 and no time. He continues to try and, rush the ceremony. And like I said, Stephanie is knocked out. Yeah. So anytime that she asks Stephanie a question, he literally turns his shoulders to block the woman, and is like, "Yes, I would love to marry you."
He's just throwing his voice.
Barely that, I would even say. He's just kind of, and including having to put the ring on her, and then pretending to have her put it on him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it's unbelievable. As soon as it's finally done, Triple H hits the horn a whole bunch, and has the guy who is working the camera, who on commentary they say he just works in some bar, which I don't know how they would know that. It's that's that barkeeper. It's maybe there was something else earlier, something else you saw him with. I was like, what the hell? he decorates the car, the cans on the back, the just married thing over it. So, right, we cut back to reality, right? Steph and Tess are both just crying, just bawling in the ring, right? This is where it gets even bigger yikes here. So, Triple H says, Vince, Dad, your question shouldn't be if we consummate the marriage, but how many times? So again, humongous yikes.
Yikes. Vince and Paul wrote all of that themselves.
100%. But again, it's just very funny the way they did it. Again, the fact that they like did this breakup of the wedding, and then again, eventually they really do get married, which is part of it. So, but
there's the whole shenanigans behind that as well, where Vince tries to kind of ruin it as well. Like, he tries to like make it about himself and ruin.
He always does.
His daughter's wedding.
All right. So next we'll jump to 2002, where we have a commitment ceremony between Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo.
Listen, it's 2002. Gay marriage is not legal in the United States yet. It wouldn't be until the Oberfeld decision in 2015, 13 years later. I was reading about this Billy and Chuck storyline and tag team, and I think their intention, like from what I read, was like skewer and like be homophobic, but it kind of backfired in a way. And like gay rights groups were like, "Hey, no, this is actually kind of funny, and we like we don't mind this type of representation because this is kind of like what we're looking for."
Yeah, it was. And again, there's so many parts of this that are just bananas. So their manager is Rico.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe Rico?
He has. Imagine the largest sideburns you've seen, and add 20%,
and then double it and give it to the next person.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's in there. Like, I describe him as if he has walked out of like a disco movie.
Yes,
like just very of the times.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Rico's like hey, we got to go here, we got to go here. Right? Billy goes through and he says yes. Paul starts getting cold feet. Right, and then they both say yes. But then Chuck turns to Rico and says, "Man, this is too much, man. It was all supposed to be a publicity stunt." And then Billy, I believe it was Billy on the mic, is like, "We're not gay. Not that we have anything against gays.
Not that there's anything wrong with that."
Yo, and the crowd explodes. The crowd pops big style for that. Did you hear Taz on commentary?
I did not hear specifically.
As the crowd is cheering, Taz just goes, "Huh, there's a lot of gay people here." Now, did I pick this wedding as a commentary on them using a gay wedding, a gay relationship for ratings and publicity for some of the funny stuff they said? No. I picked it because the old man officiant goes full Scooby-Doo and pulls off his mask.
Mission Impossible, thank you very much.
Fuck you, Scooby-Doo.
The silicone mask, and it turns out it's Eric Bischoff.
Right, Eric Bischoff just freaks out on them, and unfortunately they cut out the end of it on this video because like it's funny. What did you think when he said 3-minute warning? Because it was like, oh, it doesn't matter if it lasts 50 years, 3 minutes.
There was a gasp in the crowd, and I did some I watched another video after this as well about Rico talking about it, which I'll bring up here. But like the crowd realizes it as he's going to like pull off his mask. Again, brilliant audience interaction stuff, which is why I really liked that you chose this one. And so Bischoff, of course, had been the booker and general manager of WCW, the opponent of the WWF during the Monday Night Wars, which we'll talk about eventually. There's a lot of research we have to do. There's a lot of content out there about it because there's sort of been like a revival of like sort of nostalgia around the Monday Night Wars. And again, this is about WWF Monday Night Raw versus WCW Monday Night Nitro, blah, 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 blah. So Eric Bischoff had been such an antagonist in the WWF universe, WWE universe for so long. For him to pop up like this, ruin Rico's plans, pretty interesting. What is the 3-minute warning a reference to?
So that was a group 3-minute warning.
Gotcha.
So when he was like, oh, if it lasts for 50 years, however many months, 3 minutes, 3-minute warning, then came out and kicked their ass.
Gotcha. And they did it all in 3 minutes.
Or less, brother.
Or less. Or the pizza's free.
Okay, so we've had interruptions, secret weddings, fake outs. How could it get worse?
Oh, so Rico,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
in a recent interview, said that Vince kept Bischoff in character all day. So he had him off-site, get made up in the silicone mask, drove him in, and was like, hey, this is my guest. And Rico's quote is, quote, he kayfabed all the boys. Like, I think he really, it worked because Rico and Billy and Chuck didn't know what was happening. Only Vince and Bischoff really knew what was happening at the end of the day. Great stuff.
Okay, so far we've had interruptions, secret weddings, fake outs. How could it get worse? Well, it does.
Quote, then again, JR, love is a beautiful thing. A guy who's been married 3 times and enjoys the company of teenagers. That is really a thing that Lawler says in this clip.
So in 2004, Kane, not wanting to be outdone by his older brother, has his own WWE wedding and marries Lita on an episode of Raw. So a few things here. Lita had agreed a few months before to sleep with Kane if he would stop attacking Matt Hardy, her shoot and work boyfriend at the time. He was just always going, beating the hell out of him. She's like, oh, like, this is what he wants. Like, he will stop after this. An issue, though, she got pregnant during that encounter, per se. And even as Kane and Matt battled back and forth, they had a couple pay-per-views. Hardy picked up a no DQ pay-per-view win at Vengeance, right? But
at Vengeance.
But at SummerSlam that year, they had They had a Till Death Do Us Part match, which allowed the winner to marry Lita. Now, I will not talk bad about Lita as a person or anything else, but if you're like, oh, go look up, just Google Lita, Matt Hardy, Edge.
Yeah.
And see what comes up and how you feel about that.
Yeah. Love triangle stuff, folks.
Yeah, we will have to talk about one day because there were so many people because it happened, Matt was out. So, like, the real reason they did part of this is because Matt has to go get knee surgery. So they're writing him off TV. So this kind of ends the angle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then that's part of when she kind of starts moving with Edge and all, and then and when Matt Hardy comes back, it's like he had been fired from some other point or something. Like, people thought it was real. They thought he came back and literally just beat the hell out of Edge, but they do really hate each other. So losing this match, this allows Kane to marry Lita in. At first, I'm like, this is an all-white wedding. Like, what is going on here? Especially for Kane. And then Lita comes out in the all-black dress. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm with it. The officiants and like, oh, there's someone that wants to talk to you guys. And right, everyone's gearing up for Matt Hardy. Like, oh, so when he comes out, he makes his stand.
Hardy, yeah.
And then it's Eric Bischoff coming out and opens his Bible. And I don't know what book of the Bible he said.
Ephesians.
Okay, he definitely said it wrong then. Because I'm like, that's either not real or he said what it was supposed to be crazy wrong.
Knowing what I know about Eric Bischoff, I don't think he paid a lot of attention in Sunday school. And also, secondly, Eric does the thing that I love that middle-aged people do, is they go and they open up the book and they go, let me get my glasses.
He was digging in there, too. He could not find them. They had,
it's like, guys, people just know where your glasses are.
They'd gone away from a touch. So again, like we talked in the last one about some yikes moments, we definitely had some more coming right down the pike here. So they have their own vows. Kane says how Lita is his property. She will not know freedom.
Yikes.
Or
for there's no escape. Which is my suggestion for a title for the episode.
I like that. Lita says that Lita's vow, she says that she hates him. He has no soul. He will burn in the worst parts of hell. And that she still loves Matt Hardy. So Matt's music hits. Kane's like, oh, this son of a gun trying to ruin my wedding. He starts going up the ramp. Matt Hardy's, they've taken all the ring posts and ropes down.
Yeah.
Matt jumps off the ring and hits Kane in the back, which is just a big jump from him. Matt ends up putting down Kane, and then Lita and Matt try and escape. Kane does his sit-up and sets off his pyro, right? Blocks the exit with fire, which was pretty sick. To be honest, that was sick.
They talk, like, there's talks in interviews about the magic department at the WWE, and just, like, there's a group of dudes whose job it is to just do that kind of stuff. And when you see it happen like that, and I'm sure it's more incredible in person, shit is magic.
Yeah. So Kane catches up to them. He ends up choke slamming Matt off of the stage through some tables, brings Lita back to the ring, finishes the wedding, and then carries her out.
And again, that ends the show as well. And again, just a killer way to end the show.
Right, and this is also one of the many dominoes that starts falling that leads to, if you've ever seen the clip of Gene Snitsky kicking the baby doll into the crowd, that is part of the impetus for that moment. I'll tell you what, we can do a whole nother thing on that another time, my
On
guy.
Snitsky?
There's actually a lot of stuff about Snitsky, yeah. I have one more wedding I'm going to talk about here, right? I say this for last because this is probably the best known. Like, when people talk about wrestling weddings, this is the first one that comes to mind.
This is classic.
Even though I think this was officially, like, the third wrestling wedding, I believe, or the third or fourth in general.
When we get to it, I got to point this out.
Okay, so they get married at SummerSlam in 1991. Like, right? Like, who else is going to get a pay-per-view wedding besides the Macho Man?
They had actually been married back in December 30th, 1984. So they had been a couple for a long time already. But this was this was the culmination of their relationship in the WWF universe at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Roddy Piper is on commentary. Amazing. Incredible. I want Roddy Piper on the commentary at my wedding.
Now, is it possible it's the most remembered because, they were actually married, similar to how Triple H and Stephanie did later? Or is it because it's the only wedding on the list that didn't actually have any craziness during the ceremony?
It is a very tame ceremony. You know what? You want to know the moment where I was like, oh, I've seen this 100 million times before? Because the "oh yeah" that Macho Man says, that's the gif that everybody uses.
Yeah,
I've seen that gif. I used it 100,000 times.
So during the vows, when right, instead of I do, Macho Man's just takes his glasses off, eyes crazy. Oh yeah, so yeah, the ceremony was actually like kind of nice and touching, and it was nice. They leave the ring.
They got actual kids for it.
They did. Right, like, but
I have to imagine that was like Randy being like, no little people, there's got to be kids.
And he definitely said little people for sure.
Yeah.
But it's a wrestling wedding. Something is going to happen. So we see some highlights, if you want to call it, of the reception.
Can I just shout out the band, the Fast Fingers Orchestra? That was my name in high school.
So they start. Yep, no selling you. Fuck you. So they start opening gifts, and Macho Man is so incredibly excited about some candlesticks.
Candlesticks!
Like, just like that, picks them up in each hand, like candlesticks. Like, it looked like that Elizabeth opened, like, I don't know, it was like Tupperware or some kind of like baking dish or something.
We need to be patient. We can do this later. He's like, candlesticks.
Yeah, he's like, gifts right now. And Elizabeth goes to open one box. It was just funny. You could see how they were kind of shooting it framed. Like, we could not see anything in the box. Right, they open it. Elizabeth freaks out. Randy freaks out.
Blood-curdling scream.
Yeah. And a snake comes out.
There's a snake in the box.
Right, so they start backing away from the table like, whoa, Undertaker just comes from nowhere and materializes.
Straight out of nowhere.
And slams Macho Man in the face with the urn.
And this is super young Undertaker, too.
Oh, yeah.
Mark is like in his late 20s at this point. He looks so different.
So after Macho Man is knocked down, Jake the Snake Roberts, who would have guessed the snake was his gift, just keeps going up and is holding it like 4 inches from Elizabeth, like and until I believe it was Lex Luger came over and pushed him away and broke it up, and they just got the hell out of Dodge. So you can't have it all. You can't, but I do know that we have one AEW wedding that you want to talk about real quick.
The first, and so far as I know, the only AEW wedding, on-screen wedding, is between Kip Sabian and Drexel's finest, Penelope Ford. So this was the end of 2020, the beginning of 2021. A weird time, certainly, in the world. But a nice moment of joy here for Kip and Penelope Ford. So this was while AEW was sort of in its infancy. They were in their second year during the pandemic, working out of Daly's Place, which is the live music venue that's attached to the Jaguar Stadium that AEW works out of in Jacksonville. And at Dynamite before Christmas, so this is the 23rd of 2020, Miro, Kip Sabian, and Penelope Ford come out. Miro is the best man. They announced that they're going to be doing a beach wedding at Beach Break 2021. Obviously, a plug for Beach Break as well. Fantastic way to do it. And then at the actual event itself, we have the Sinister Minister, Father James Mitchell, who you might recognize from Dark Side of the Ring or TNA, officiating the ceremony. Kip mentions the first time that he saw Penelope in a very skimpy outfit. Yes. Father James mentions in the vows, he says, you will have to grope, which is great, for richer and for poorer, kayfabing all others. And then after the wedding, of course, Miro wants the champagne presented. What does he go by in WWE? Rusev, that's it. Yes, Rusev. So Miro wants the champagne presented. Chuck Taylor, who was tag teaming with Orange Cassidy at the time as the best friends, has been drafted in as Charles the Butler, which gave me flashbacks to when my sister made me drive her around and would call me Chauncey. Miro assaults one of the presents, assuming that Orange Cassidy is in the box, right? Because it's like a refrigerator box, right? So he's assuming that just Orange is in there. However, as Miro is singing Baby Don't Hurt Me, What Is Love with the crowd, he's trying to give a speech. He's asking, what is love? The crowd starts singing, Baby Don't Hurt Me. Somebody chains Miro to the post. Chuck puts Penelope Ford through the cake. Sabian hits Miro accidentally, and Orange Cassidy pops out of the cake. He was in there the whole time. The cake was a lie. Taylor takes out Sabian. Cassidy takes out Sabian with the beach break. An aptly named move for an aptly named moment. But yeah, that's the only AEW wrestling or AEW wedding that's been aired, at least. There are several AEW cast talent that are married to each other, notably Renee Paquette, Jon Moxley, MJF, and Alicia Tout, who got married earlier this year. Congratulations. Will Ospreay and Alice Windsor. Again, congratulations to them. They just got married back in June. But yeah.
Yeah, so, and again, this is just the surface of wrestling weddings here. There have been more than this that are also fantastic, including one where AJ Styles kisses Kurt Angle's wife during the portion of the Kiss the Bride portion of the ceremony.
They were just doing everything in TNA, weren't they?
Look again, if you want to know more about some of these weddings, right? I would love to point you to the Deadlock podcast. They do a whole bunch of these. They've done one on the Kane one. They've done one on the AJ Styles, the Kurt Angle technically wedding. They have a whole bunch of great ones. Check them out, Deadlock Pod. So make sure you keep those ears open, because you may be hearing wedding bells, or maybe those are chair shots. Only time will tell. Here on The C Show.
Welcome back to The C Show. We're talking AEW coverage. I guess I'm starting off. We're going to be talking about the Continental Challenge Cup. We've got 3 matches. The first one is Claudio Castagnoli versus Ace Austin. Of course, this is the Continental Challenge, so they've thrown 20 wrestlers in, or I think it's
16, right?
No, it's 16, and then we're going to get to 8. So in this first phase, it's 8 matches. We're going to figure out the top 8 from there, and then we're going to redraw and go to a bracket from there. So in this first one here, we've got Claudio Castagnoli again versus Ace Austin. Ace tries his best here, but honestly, Claudio attempts the giant swing. Ace puts him in a leg lock. Claudio has to stand up to get out before just deciding to dump him on the side. He's thinking, oh, do I do a giant swing again, or do I just dump him? And it's way easier just to dump him.
Mm-hmm.
Claudio attempts the neutralizer. Austin gets the super kick, but Claudio nails him with the elbow strike. 1, 2, 3, and it's over. Claudio puts himself into the next pool.
Yeah, you probably could have called that one.
I probably could have.
It's not exactly Ace Austin time.
Continental Challenge. The next match here, Orange Cassidy versus Matt Sydal. Sydal, right? Sydal, yes. Orange comes out to Jane by Starship Jefferson, a change from the Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. Matt warns, I got my foot fixed, which means I can kick twice as much ass. Seidel is awesome. Like, high flying, super quick, super dynamic. But Seidel counters the orange punch, but Cassidy moves on with the beach break. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Cassidy moves on. And in the main event of Collision on Saturday night, we had Jake Doyle versus Eddie Kingston. This was really well evenly matched at the beginning. I really enjoyed it. It was like, okay, it really could go either way. Doyle hits an Oklahoma Stampede, which was crazy. And Paul White warns about Eddie Kingston. Straps undone, you better run. Eddie with the back-to-back slaps, Dragon Sleeper hold, and Doyle calls it. Eddie moves on. So really interesting stuff here in the Continental Challenge, sort of a twist on tournament-style wrestling where we have these two phases and then we move on into a bracket. So I'm going to be really interested to see the next couple of matches, who moves on there, and we're going to be talking about that later. But first, let's take it back to Grand Slam Mexico and Arena Mexico.
I have to talk about Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball Mike Bailey.
Before we get to that, when there's a new AEW game, we gotta have Arena Mexico as a playable location.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Like, Arena Mexico sold out. Oh,
dude, I have the AEW game and I really like it. The Fight Forever, I believe. I really like it. We should mess around with it sometime. I got it on my PlayStation.
Mess around with it.
So again, I'm talking about Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball Mike Bailey. This was given a 4.75 by Meltzer.
Wow,
and might be a little low, honestly.
You think?
So first thing, Speedball's pants rock. He's got these light purple pants with this really cool pattern. They both came out wearing masks.
So you know the flower design?
Mm-hmm.
That's the fleur de lis.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Cool. And the fleur de lis, I mean, it's used all over Boy Scouting, but if I remember correctly, it's also a symbol that's used by the Quebecois. It's on the flag. It's on the provincial flag.
I was going to say, because it's big in Louisiana, too, right? Yes. Which tracks.
Yes.
So, again, great outfits first. They both come out wearing masks. Fletcher decides to step on his mask. He's a bastard man. But they get after it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey, holding on to Fletcher, walks the top rope and then hits a Hurricane Rana. Fletcher hits an avalanche Michinoku driver. So from the second rope, tips him over, drops him on the back of his neck. There was also a point, there were a lot of very close counts, right?
Yeah.
2.9s, 2.99s, and as they said on commentary, 2.999 in infinitum or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He actually used the Latin. I'm like, oh, you're a nerd.
Excalibur, yeah.
And there was this one where I'm like, I don't think Fletcher kicked out there, but like they were letting it close. Like I'm sure they told the ref, like, we're gonna do as a kick out. Like, so,
yeah.
Like, and again, it was awesome. There were near falls for both of them. I'm like, oh, this is over. They fight out onto the ramp. It's one of the ramps that are pushed right up against the ring.
Yeah.
And it's looking like that.
Arena Mexico is designed specifically for wrestling. It's been used for boxing and MMA, but it's specifically designed by CMLL for wrestling. And so the steps are not soft. They're straight concrete, it sounded like.
Yeah, they are permanent steps. Like,
yeah.
Same way with, like, the barricades. Like, right, you'll see in AEW, oh, the barricades move, they get broken away, whatever. They're like, no, these are permanent barricades.
Yep.
Like this is always for this. This is always the setup.
There's no ring skirt either. It was tucked up behind a LED video board. So when they did the street fight at the end, they had to place all of the weapons around because you can't go underneath the video boards. They're placed there.
So Fletcher tries to suplex Bailey onto these steps. Bailey gets out, runs up the stairs, and does a moonsault off of it. He might have gotten the worst of it. I think he ended up banging the steps pretty hard himself.
Yeah.
But one thing that I saw that was unbelievable is so Fletcher jumps and tries to do a cross body on Bailey. So imagine you run at someone, right, and you turn yourself sideways, and Speedball catches him in one motion, does a flip, and then plants him in like a power slam.
Boy's crazy.
They're both freaking wild. And right there came a point where Speedball was up. He hits the Ultimo weapon, right? That flipping knee drop off the top. I'm like, oh my God, he did it.
Out of the top turnbuckle, too. And it looked like he flipped twice.
Oh, maybe, I don't know, dude. I was already screaming, like,
insane.
oh my God, he's going to do it. And because he does the exhausted pin, like pulls the leg back, like, And again, this is the one where they say he kicked out at 2.9999 infinitum.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, Fletcher works back up, takes him to the top rope, hits that turnbuckle brainbuster, and Kyle retains. Again, Meltzer gave this 4.75. Like, man, it's a hell of a match, man.
Mm-hmm.
These two dudes are going to be very good for a very long time. This will not be the last we see of these guys, and I can't wait.
Well, this won't be the last that you hear from us, because we're coming up next. We got more upcoming AEW action. We got some previews for some upcoming stuff. And we'll be right back here on The C Show. Welcome back to The C Show. We're going to be talking about some upcoming stuff here. First up, next week, we're talking with El Terrifico. He's half of AXW's Tag Team Luchadors. And then we'll be talking the week after with Brian Murphy. He also does AXW's commentary. He went viral for smacking his head on the event at the Paulsboro Wrestling Hall in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Very funny guy, nice guy. We'll be talking to them soon. But we've got some AEW action to talk about. First, we've got in the Continental Challenge Cup, Jungle Jack Perry versus John Moxley. Of course, Moxley and the Death Riders faced off against Perry and the Bang Bang Gang. How do you think this one's going to go for young Master Perry?
It's going to have to be Mox. Again, part of this whole thing in the tournament is that Mox can lose the title throughout the tournament. It's not like the winner will face him. Like, he could lose it second round, and then it could pass through three other dudes on the way to the finals, which is actually awesome. It's a really fun concept. If it wasn't someone like Mox holding the belt, it's more of a transitional guy, and it's like, all right, let's have, 3 champions in 3 weeks, and then you could probably turn around and do that, a 3 or a 6-man pay-per-view style, like, brawl. Like,
yeah, well, we'll see. We got plenty coming up when we know that the finale will be at All In London in less than 20 days at this point. Next up, in the Continental Challenge Cup, we've also got Jay White versus David Finlay. This one, again, the Bang Bang Gang versus the Dogs. They've been facing off in the recent months, and it's of course been escalating further. We thought that Jay White might be injured, but he's coming back apparently now, so he's all good to wrestle. So we're good there. But David Finlay could also take his head off.
It's probably going to be Finlay by crook one way or another, whether it's Clark Connors or someone else interfering, getting in the way. It's definitely not going to be clean.
Won't be clean, despite the Continental Cup's rules. No outside interference, etc., etc. In a number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet at All In London, we've got Nick Wayne versus MJF and Speedball Mike Bailey in a 3-way match. So far, this is going to be really exciting. MJF, one of the best. Speedball Mike Bailey, fantastic. Nick Wayne, one to watch. That's all. That's really my preview for it.
Right, and is this the one for number 2 for the Casino Gauntlet?
This is the number 2 spot.
Heard.
The number 2 spot. Andrade already has the number 1 spot.
Yes, he has secured that.
Yes. How you know?
I watched it.
Next up, 2 of Connor's favorite wrestlers face off. It's the Jet, Kevin Knight, versus Chris Jericho for the TNT Championship.
Look, I do love the Jet. So you watch your mouth there. Yeah. I do love the Jet. I hope Jet takes his head off. I hope he gives him that new rock bottom he's doing through the bottom of the ring. I hope UFO splash, knee to the face, like pain up the Painmaker Jericho bitch boy.
On Collision on the 15th, we've also got Roderick Strong facing off against Kyle O'Reilly in the Continental Challenge Cup. So to see 2 members of the conglomeration face off against each other, 2 longtime friends.
Yo, they're going to beat the hell out of each other.
That is going to be a real wrestling match.
Can't wait for that, man. They are going to get on it.
Yes. Yeah, that's going to definitely be a remote dropper for sure. I mean, these are all going to be remote droppers on Saturday night. Katsuyori Shibata versus Nigel McGuinness.
That one interested me because, I'm not really sure what they're trying to do with Nigel as he's kind of coming back in here.
Nigel was so inspired by Will Ospreay, he decided to throw his hat into the ring for the Continental Challenge Cup. So we'll be interested to see. Nigel has worked a little bit in Ring of Honor over the past couple of years, going for, I believe, the heavyweight title against Bandito once or twice, TV title here and there. But Nigel's a highly technical wrestler with lots of pedigree. His career is stacked, goes all the way back to like OG Ring of Honor days. And last but certainly not least, and again, another heater in the Continental Cup, we've got Brian Cage versus Hechicero. Hechicero, who, again, at Arena Mexico, Grand Slam Mexico, Hechicero is incredible in that triple threat match, or in that trios match. And Brian Cage is just a machine.
Made in a lab, dude. Like,
Dude,
absolutely
yes.
made in a lab.
There's the pictures that he took of like him cosplaying as Wolverine, and it's like, Disney, what are you doing? Disney, what are you doing? Even just an alternate version. Just be like Brian Cage. He's boys with Steven Spielberg, you know.
Oh, I did not know that.
He was in Disclosure Day, him and Lance Archer.
Oh, I recognized Lance when I
Yeah.
saw Disclosure Day. I didn't peep that.
So Brian Cage was talking about it on the Chris Van Fleet episode, and they the talent, or the talent coordinator for Disclosure Day noticed Brian and was like, Steven likes your build and like likes guys of your size. Do you have another big guy that you can bring in? He was like, Lance. Lance.
Let's cook.
And so that's how they did it. Apparently, Steven Spielberg is a big wrestling head.
I can see that.
I can see that.
I can see that.
Classic wrestling.
He's
for
weird
sure.
enough.
Yes, for sure. It's all classic storytelling stuff. It's all classic storytelling stuff. That's all it is. Of course, I do want to mention it once again. You can go to alsmidatlantic.org to support the fight against ALS. Of course, Rebel Heart Dynamite on the 9th of September. I am going to con Connor and Jared into doing the Ice Bucket Challenge in the next few weeks, and I will also do it as well. I won't cower out of it. I won't, because we did that video about beating up children, and I got to get out of it.
Yeah, please do anything you can to support that cause. Again, something close to me, the kid I would pick up every day and drive into high school. His dad, who was awesome to me, such a nice man, had and passed from ALS. So again, something close to my heart. Anything that you can do to donate, help, volunteer, hell, just spread awareness. Please do, right, as we continue to work to try and find, maybe not even cures, but still just better livelihoods, some solutions for the chronic pain and the series of mobility issues, right, just to improve quality of life for those who suffer.
Wait a minute, I'm getting a call. Oh, it's Jared, and we need to go deliver some coconut oil. So we got to wrap up the show here. It's the C Show. Of course you like the C Show. Make sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share it with your friends. Support the show directly at ko-fi.com/cshowpod. $5 a month gets you access to the Discord and the C Show archive, plus priority for topic research. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube at C Show Pod. Have a question for the boys? Send an email, cshowpod@gmail.com. Thanks to our friends Amir, Patrick, and Justin for their assistance. The C Show is a production of 832 Media. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.
Let's hear them wedding bells.